Welcome to Climate Watch. I'm Ben Tracy. So-called fast fashion has made it easy for manufacturers and consumers to keep up with new clothing trends. Synthetic fibers like petroleum-based polyester make it cheaper and faster to make new clothes. But that convenience has come at the expense of our planet. More than 100 million tons of textiles wind up in landfills each year, and only about 15% of used clothes in the U.S. are recycled. Today we explore some of the creative and innovative ways both people and companies are making fashion more sustainable. We meet a California woman who creates beautiful new garments out of flea market finds, like tablecloths and blankets. And we take a look at a popular footwear favorite now making shoes out of a plant-based leather alternative. But first, we begin with one of the few companies turning plastic into fabric. Since brother-sister duo Jake and Caroline Danahy founded Fair Harbor Clothing a decade ago, they've turned more than 35 million plastic bottles into swimsuits, jeans, sweatshirts, and more. Lana Zach caught up with the pair and their brand's seaside namesake, Fair Harbor, New York.
So this is where it all started, huh?
This is it.
A small beach community on Fire Island, just about 60 miles from New York City, Fair Harbor inspired the environmental dreams of siblings Caroline and Jake Danahy.
Sign coming in, it says it's a barefoot community, and it really is. We would even change the bottoms pedals on our bikes so it was flat and you didn't have the spikes going into your feet.
And with the boundless enthusiasm of kids, the siblings thought that they should and could tackle the problem of pollution.
Every morning when we go to walk on the beach, there was always plastic washing up on the shore, and either balloons or plastic bottles or containers. That really frustrated us because it's such a pristine place that should not have plastic pollution.
Fair Harbor became the inspiration and namesake of their sustainable clothing brand. And now, 10 years later, Fair Harbor Clothing has already recycled more than 35 million plastic bottles into swim trunks, jeans, sweaters, and more.
Whenever we come back here, it just, really shows us what it's all about. It's about protecting these beaches and beaches like this all over the world.
It's estimated that 75 to 199 million tons of plastic are currently in the ocean, and it's projected 27 to 35 million tons will be entering the water every year by 2040. The enormity of the problem inspired Jake as a college student at Colgate University.
And really learned about the origins of plastic, where it even start, how we were treating plastic, how it was being recycled. And in doing so, I found a mill that was actually converting plastic bottles into yarn. And this is back in 2014. I was like, wow, this is super cool. You can actually make yarn, and let's do something with this. And so that's when the idea of Fair Harbor was born.
Even though Caroline was younger than her brother, she was on board with eco-fashion from the start.
And I actually had a fashion blog specifically dedicated to sustainable fashion that I started in middle school. So I'd go to different vintage shops and consignment shops and find a way to make old fashion new again.
So you were a little tween running around trying to advocate for the planet and sustainable fashion.
Caroline experimented with making clothes out of repurposed materials. Here's a dress she made entirely out of SAT tests for a school fashion show.
Caroline was always that resident tree hugger of our family. Her bat mitzvah theme was actually sustainability. All the furniture was made out of recycled cardboard, and so at 13 years old, Caroline was kind of paving the forefront of sustainability.
But their big break happened when the siblings had the opportunity to present their idea for Fair Harbor in a Shark Tank-style competition in front of judges like Honest Company founder Jessica Alba and Warby Parker CEO Neil Blumenthal.
We actually take plastic water bottles and turn them into good-looking, stylish swimwear.
With Caroline still in high school and Jake a junior in college, they were awarded $20,000 in grant money to get their business off the ground. Their parents' garage became the company's first product warehouse.
Our parents say that you didn't just take over our garage, it was the entire house. Because during the summers we had interns running all around the house. In the basement, everyone was picking and packing out of the garage. Our mom was passing tea around, there was a whole family, all hands on deck. And so we set up a pick and pack station in the garage.
And you're literally doing this while you're in school?
Yes.
Fair Harbor is celebrating its 10th anniversary this year, with the siblings still working side by side, with Jake as the chief executive officer and Caroline as the chief brand officer.
10 years in, 35 million bottles recycled. Where do you feel like you're still not, but we just haven't gotten this down yet.
I think it's a challenge that we have every day. How do we continue to do things more sustainable, to push the boundaries? We're constantly introducing new fabrics. We have fabrics made from recycled tree bark. We have fabrics made from recycled oyster shells. There's so many other fabrics that we've incorporated. And for us too, I think that there's a mentality and there's a metaphor. Jake always says, sharks, if they stop swimming, they die. And for us too, how do we continue to stay on our toes? How do we continue to push ourselves?
The Danahy siblings continue to combat climate change. Their enthusiasm and energy still limitless.
10 years later, I mean, how does it feel? Like, what do you think when you remember back to when you were two crazy kids just coming up with an idea, and now tens of millions of plastic bottles have been recycled, you have a successful company, you employ other people. I mean, what goes through your head when you reminisce?
People told us that we didn't have enough experience, that we didn't know what we were doing, that we should go seek experience elsewhere and then apply it to our venture. But we used that to, that challenge to fuel us and to push us forward. And I think we've been naive, but in the best possible way, to create the company that we want and create a more sustainable fashion apparel brand than we've seen before us. So I think we definitely like a challenge and we're up for it.
Jake, I can see your face light up, actually.
I love it here. I love it.